Hello, welcome back to another episode of Tudor Electric Football Box Reveal. This is episode 17. I haven't made a show for about a month, so I thought I'd go ahead and make one. Pickings have been a little slim, and the pickings in this box are a little slim, to be very honest with you. It's 4 original, what I would call common hog leg teams. But very important pillars of anybody's collection, especially if you collect hog leg figures. Let's take a look, see what we've got inside. And we got a bunch of empty store bags that are in here for packing. And we got a bag that is all full of pieces. All right, I'm just going to dump it out and let's see what we got. All right, as you can see, there's the leftover debris from obviously what was once a field. And we'll pick some of the big stuff off the top. We got some white numbers. There's some decal style numbers. So those are earlier. And there's a great Giants hog leg era bag. And then here's all the pieces. So this probably came with a 620 set. We'll get those field goal pieces. Here's the 2 field goals that were with the game. One of them actually has the thing around the post, which is always a plus. And an even bigger plus is that those retaining rings are there for both of those field goal posts. Looking at some of these other pieces, here's the scoring, the timers, yard markers. There's another yard marker, 1 magnet on there. Another set of scoring wheels. A bunch of dials in here. Those are definitely all from the 620 game. All these scoreboard name pieces. This would have been from the NFL game. So the best we're going to have here would be what were at that time the 16 NFL teams included in here. And there's a lot there. We might have all 16 of them. Another scoreboard dial. There's another one. All right. Boy, oh boy, look at all these pieces in here. There's the end zone flags. Another dial. Here's the little dial controls for those scoreboard dials. And we got some kickers in here. I see a bunch of kickers in here missing legs. A couple more end zone flags. Yard marker without the magnet. More kickers. All right, we got 3 kickers missing legs. There's a leg. End zone flag. There's another leg. Alright, we'll take a quick... Oh, and there is the other leg. So we've got 4 vintage complete kickers. Very cool. Alright, so we got a lot of good pieces. There's a football. Another scoreboard dial. There's a lot of pieces in here. Might be pieces for more than one game even. Alright, well, without further ado, we're going to get to what everybody likes, which are the teams. I'm going to pick at random. And I see a bunch of bases here, so I'm not sure how many teams worth of bases are in there. And we have first picked a hog leg white Cleveland Brown. This is the team that came with the original 620 field. Earliest games came with the big the big Giants and Browns. And then this game actually made the transition to hog leg figures, and that's what we're seeing here. All right, these are really well painted. Nice quarterbacks, good paint on the quarterbacks. So far, everybody's been in one piece. A lot of times you find those tackles with broken hands and stuff, old as they are. Both running backs. All right, we just need... There's a guard. We need one more wide receiver. I see him. There he is. That is a really nice looking set. I mean, I will tell you, it's a common team. This team, having came with the game, you see them a lot. Finding a nice set. If you're going to have these in your collection, have a really nice set. Get a really well painted set. Don't have any breaks. Don't have any repaints. Nothing. This is a team that you should absolutely have a really clean version. I think that applies probably to all four teams we're going to look at tonight. And this team fulfills that. So nice start. All right, next we're going to look at the other team that probably came in this very same game. Hogleg, dark New York Giants. Nice looking team so far. And we're looking at those tackles. Okay, no broken arms on that tackle. Both running backs are good. There's our first guard. Another tackle, and he's good. Another quarterback, and he's good. Yet another end zone flag. There had to have been like 8 end zone flags in here, so there had to have been a couple of games involved in these pieces. Here's a guard. And we need one more wide receiver. And good. And I will tell you, just like those Browns, if you're going to have this set in your collection, and if you're collecting hog leg figures, you're going to have this set in your collection. Get a nice set like these. These are in perfect condition. The paint on them is very, very nice. Both of these teams. They're common teams, but they've got really nice paint. No breaks. Nobody's touched up. There's no re-glues, nothing. Just a really super clean, common team, but a good team. All right, next we're going to reach in here and we're going to pull out a white hog leg Baltimore Colt. And we're going to get right into those Colts. All right, there's one of the tackles, and he's good. You can tell right off, by the way, that these are early sets. I should touch upon this real quick, as long as we're talking hogs. Both of the tackles, here's the Browns tackles, and you can see they're both Caucasian. Later sets, they started to transition that. So you'd have an African-American tackle and a Caucasian tackle. The early sets, like the big men, had 2 Caucasian tackles. And there's those Giants. So you can see that these are also an early set. All right, getting back into these, and I'll tell you what kind of flagged my memory on this, or thought process on this. I don't know how well you can see this guy. This is the African-American wide receiver on the white Colt team, but he's painted with that, what I would call earlier paint, which is more of a cocoa brown skin tone. They got a little darker in the later figures. Oh, and we got a quarterback, and he is not completely broken off, but he's in big trouble. This guy would be an extremely easy re-glue. You can see he's just like a hinge there. All right, and there's the running back, and we are missing there. We are not missing. There's the other quarterback. Okay. And again, this is what I would call an early set. 2 Caucasian tackles, white Baltimore Colts. One quarterback, unfortunately, is a leaner. He's going to have to be re-glued to be made right. He's a very, very easy repair, but he also cannot be considered mint. All right, next we've got a set of hog leg dark Green Bay Packers. You know, 2 of the most common sets that came out in the early days of the Tudor electric football painted team era. One was the 510 set. That set featured dark Green Bay Packers playing white hog leg Baltimore Colts. And another very popular set were these white Cleveland Browns playing the dark New York Giants. So these are basically the remnants, and we see these pieces, so we know they came from 2 sets. I think these are basically the figures from 2 of the really common early Tudor sets. And we're working our way through these Packers. And both wide receivers. And we got a good running back. I'm peeling bases off of these guys. We'll take a quick look at these bases at the end just to see how many we've got. There's got to be, 2, maybe 3 teams worth of bases. But these are definitely from 2 different games. We've got 4 kickers. We've got the field goal posts, all these yard markers. Yeah, these are the remnants of a 5-10 game and a 6-20 game. All right, and those Packers are looking good. That's a nice team. Always awesome when you can get one of these really important. I mean, gee whiz, if you're going to collect hog leg figures, these are some of the teams you're definitely going to have in your collection. If you're going to do it, don't compromise. Get good ones. Get nice ones. Because later on, when you start trying to collect some of those harder to collect teams, you might have to make some compromises. You might run into some guys that have been repainted or re-glued, or you got a partial team and you have to put up with it because they're so scarce. But these teams are common. So again, if you're going to collect them, get a nice set, and these are a really nice set. 3 out of 4 actually, and we got a bunch of loose bases back here, and here's yet another field part. Now, I'm going to count up these bases real quick just for the heck of it. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There's 11. That's a team's worth right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's another team's worth. I'm not quite sure we're going to make it to 4 teams worth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's a 3rd team's worth of bases, and we're going to fall a little bit short. 2, 4, 6, and 8. So that's, if I'm adding correctly, about 41 bases. All the bases, by the way, and this is going to be really hard to see on film. I'm going to try and get a little light angle on there. But see those little circles on those bases? Those are what we call hog era bases. They're up there by the piece, and they're also on the back. So there's like 5 circles on these bases. They're light green, single clip bases. Later on, when they got into the black shoe era, those bases were completely smooth on top. So they actually redid them a little bit. All right, we're going to do a little quick review of what we've got from the 5-10 game. Hog leg, dark Packers. You know what? And here I am calling these teams really nice, and I just noticed this guy's got a broken arm. So, not so perfect Packers. Colts also had a problem with a leaning quarterback. The Browns came from probably a 6-20 game, I would guess. They were perfect. So too were the Giants from that same game. Really cool lot. We got a bunch of accessories. We got a bunch of bases. We got 4 really good teams. We've seen some of these teams. Here I am calling these teams common. But looking back, we've seen the Packers. We've seen the Browns in episode 2. We got the Packers again in episode 15. The White Colts. We saw them in episode 15 also. We saw... Alright, so Giants, Browns, Packers, all in episode 2. Episode 15, we saw those Colts and Packers. But there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Check out my other videos. I love making them. First one I've made in a while. Appreciate it very much, and have a great night.